My name's Daniel, and I still remember the exact moment my girlfriend looked me in the eyes and said, "You'll never be enough for a girl like me." The crazy part? She said it while standing inside a building my family owned. For almost 2 years, I let everyone think I was average. Not broke, not rich, just normal. I wore plain clothes, drove an old Honda, worked quietly, never showed off money. Because growing up around wealthy people taught me something dangerous. The moment people smell money, they stop loving you normally. At first, Emily didn't seem like that. I met her at a small coffee shop downtown. She smiled at me first. And honestly, that smile changed everything. We started talking every day after that. Late-night calls, cheap food dates, long drives with music playing softly in the background. Life felt peaceful around her, and I fell hard. But after a few months, little things started changing. It started with small comments. "Why don't you dress better? You should be more ambitious. You still drive that car?" At first, she laughed after saying those things like they were jokes, but eventually, they stopped feeling funny. Then came her friends, especially Vanessa. Vanessa judged people based on watches, cars, and followers. Every time we hung out, she looked at me like I wasn't good enough. One night at dinner, she asked me, "So, Daniel, what exactly do you do?" I smiled and said, "Finance." She looked disappointed instantly. "Like accounting?" Before I could answer, Emily laughed. "Basically." They both laughed, and I laughed too. But something inside me changed that night. Emily slowly became obsessed with appearances, luxury restaurants, designer bags, Instagram pictures, attention, validation. Everything had to look expensive. Meanwhile, I stayed exactly the same. And the more she believed I was average, the colder she became. Then one night, everything changed. We were invited to a rooftop party by Vanessa. That's where Emily met Marcus. Marcus walked in wearing a tailored suit and a Rolex. He made sure everyone noticed. Loud confidence, fake humility, the kind of guy who talks about money every 5 minutes. Emily couldn't stop staring at him, and Marcus noticed immediately. The entire night, he kept finding excuses to talk to her, making her laugh, touching her arm, ignoring me completely. At one point, Vanessa whispered something in Emily's ear. Emily looked at me, then looked back at Marcus and smiled. That smile hurt more than I expected. After that night, Emily started acting distant. Calls got shorter, replies slower, dates canceled. Then one evening, Marcus's name flashed across her phone while we were eating dinner. She grabbed the phone so quickly she almost knocked over her drink. I looked at her quietly. "Why are you nervous?" "I'm not." But she was. You can always tell. The eyes change first. Then she started hiding her screen, taking calls outside, smiling at messages she never explained. Deep down, I already knew what was happening. I just wasn't ready to hear it out loud. 2 weeks later, Emily invited me to a restaurant. Her voice sounded cold, serious. When I arrived, Vanessa was already there. Marcus, too. The second I sat down, I knew this wasn't a normal dinner. Emily took a deep breath and said, "I think we want different futures." I stayed calm. "What does that mean?" She glanced at Marcus before answering. "I can't keep waiting for potential." Marcus leaned back, smiling like he had already won. Then Emily looked at me and said, "You're a good guy, Daniel, but love doesn't pay bills." Nearby tables started listening. I felt humiliated sitting there while Marcus smirked at me. Then he pulled out his car keys. Ferrari logo. Very dramatic. Emily stood up and said, "I deserve more." And they walked out together, leaving me alone at the table. What Emily didn't know was that I already knew who Marcus really was. One of our companies was reviewing his failing startup for acquisition, and the truth was ugly. The Ferrari was rented, the watches were leased. His entire lifestyle was fake, but I stayed silent. Because sometimes karma works better when you do nothing. I won't lie, the breakup destroyed me. Not because I lost Emily, but because I realized she never actually loved me. She loved the version of me she hoped would eventually become rich. And the moment someone looked richer, she switched sides instantly. That realization changes you. For weeks, I disappeared from everyone. No parties, no social media, nothing. Then one morning, my father called me. "Are you done hiding yet?" I looked out my apartment window and said, "Maybe." He sighed. "You can't test people forever, Daniel." And he was right. 3 months later, our company hosted a huge investor event downtown. Luxury hotel, executives, press, investors everywhere. And Marcus was there trying desperately to secure funding. Then I saw Emily walk in beside him. The look on her face told me everything. She thought she had won at life. Until she saw me standing near the stage in a tailored black suit, talking to executives. One of the hotel managers walked over nervously. "Mr. Carter, the board is ready for you." Emily froze. Marcus's smile disappeared instantly. For the first time since our breakup, Emily looked terrified. I walked onto the stage. The ballroom applauded. Then the host introduced me. CEO of Carter Holdings. Emily looked like she stopped breathing. Marcus turned pale immediately, because he finally recognized the company name, the same company reviewing his collapsing business. During the presentation, acquisition reports appeared briefly on the giant screen. Marcus's company was listed with massive losses and debt exposure. The room went silent. Emily looked at him in complete shock. "Marcus, what is this?" He tried laughing it off, but panic was written all over his face. Then his phone started ringing nonstop. Investors pulling out. Deals collapsing. Reality finally catching up to him. And suddenly, the millionaire image disappeared. After the event ended, Emily found me outside near the valet area. Rain was falling lightly. She looked emotional, almost shaking. "Daniel, why didn't you tell me?" I stared at her quietly. Would it have changed anything? She said nothing. That silence answered everything. Then she stepped closer and whispered, "I made a mistake." "No, she made a choice. There's a difference." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Can we start over?" And in that moment, I realized something. I finally stopped loving her. Because the girl standing in front of me wasn't heartbroken over losing me. She was heartbroken over losing access to the life she thought she missed. Once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. A black car pulled up beside me. The driver stepped out and opened the door. I looked at Emily one last time and said, "You didn't leave me for a better man." I paused for a second. "You left me for a better image." Tears rolled down her face, but it was too late. Marcus disappeared completely after the scandal. Turns out fake wealth never lasts forever. And me? I stopped hiding who I was, not to impress people, but because the right person won't love you differently because of money. They'll love you the same before they know. And honestly, losing Emily became the most painful lesson of my life, but somehow, it was worth it.